Okay, so Venom, you know the deal. New movie, new symbiote action. But
Yeah.
this time, there's this name they keep dropping in the trailer. Knull. And if
Right.
you're sitting there like, whoa, trust me, you're not alone, that's why we're doing this deep dive. We're going to figure out who this Knull guy is, why he matters, and honestly, why Venom should be very afraid. Very afraid.
It's like if they just started throwing Thanos around before Infinity War. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get these little hints that something massive is coming, but without the
Oh,
context.
yeah.
Thankfully, we have this Space.com article, Who is Knull? An introduction to Venom, the Last Dance's big Marvel villain. And it's a pretty solid primer, even if some details end up being different in the movie, which,
Yeah.
happens all the
So
time.
that's it.
Yeah.
Especially with comic book movies. So this article jumps right in, says Knull is like the OG symbiote daddy. Like he literally created all of them. But it's got to be more than that, right?
Oh, it's way more than that. This
Yeah.
isn't just some dude who likes making alien costumes in his spare time.
Right.
In Marvel Comics, symbiotes are connected to this, like, ancient cosmic power, right?
Right.
Knull isn't just wearing a symbiote. He is basically a god of darkness.
Okay, hold on. God of Darkness. Like, I need a little more. What does that even mean in the Marvel universe?
Okay, so you know how there's this thing in Marvel called the living abyss?
Right.
Like, picture the opposite of creation, the opposite of light.
Okay.
It's a living abyss. And Knull, he embodies all of that. He's like the physical manifestation of it.
Oh, see, now you're just messing with me. This is already blowing my mind. And we're like 5 minutes in.
It gets crazier. Okay, so you know the Celestials?
Mm-hmm.
Those, like, giant cosmic beings who are basically the architects of the universe.
Right.
Even they were like, Knull, dude, you gotta chill.
Yeah.
Like, they offered him a place in the cosmic order. They literally called him the Ping in Black,
Right. Yeah.
To try and maintain balance.
What do you say? Like, no thanks, I'm good.
Basically. Knull's whole deal is that he wants to plunge everything into eternal darkness.
So let me get this straight. This isn't just a fight over, like, who gets to control Venom or who gets to rule a planet.
Nope.
This is about the fate of, like, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
The whole shebang.
Okay.
And you want to know what's really wild? This whole Knull backstory,
Yeah.
it's actually fairly new in the comics.
Really?
Yeah, it just goes to show how Marvel is constantly adding depth and layers to these characters, even ones we thought we knew, like Venom.
Wow. This Knull guy, he sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like, seriously hardcore. If he's as bad as you're saying, how do they even stop him? Like, where do you even begin with a God of Darkness?
Okay, so get this. This ties into another Marvel movie.
Okay.
You might have seen Thor: Love and Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Remember that villain?
Gore.
Gorr the God Butcher.
Yeah. With
That
her.
creepy whisper voice.
Yes. So Gore was actually imprisoned by Knull, like, ages ago.
Whoa.
And it was during this imprisonment that Knull started experimenting, messing around with the living abyss, and that's how he created the symbiotes.
Oh, wow. So Gorr kind of inadvertently helped to create the very thing that
You should-
Knull is known for.
It's like
Yeah.
the ultimate irony. Right.
Right.
So yeah, we've already seen a bit of Knull's story, even if we didn't realize it at the time, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it is. Although this article also says that Eddie Brock and Carnage are the ones who kind of, like, accidentally free him.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
So basically, their actions in the comics, it's a whole other story.
Okay.
It disrupts this prison that Knull has been trapped in for, like, millennia.
Oh, no.
It's like, imagine accidentally breaking the lock on Pandora's box.
Yeah.
You don't know what you've done until it's too late.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
Not good at all. So how do they fix that mess? I mean, you've got this, like, God of Darkness on the loose. What do you even do?
Okay, so according to the comics, Eddie Brock, he gets a serious level up.
Okay.
He actually dies.
But then he gets resurrected.
Okay, but who is powerful enough to bring someone back from, like, being nulled? Like, is that even possible?
The God of Light.
Whoa. Okay, no, you're not messing around now. The God of Light.
Yeah. And empowered by the God of Light, Eddie Brock manages to defeat Knull.
Of course.
It's a brutal, brutal fight. If you guys want to check out, like, that whole showdown, we have links to those key comic issues in the show notes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a wild ride.
I bet. So now I'm, like, really wondering how Sony is going to handle this whole thing in Venom: The Last Dance.
I know, right?
Because they don't always have the best track record with these, like, more complex villains. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, Carnage in the last one kind of let down.
Yeah,
And he's supposed to be, like, this legendary Venom enemy.
exactly.
Mhm.
Which is why I'm a little, we might get a slightly rushed Knull. And this is where things get even more interesting.
Okay. All right, I'm intrigued.
We might just get a little taste of Knull in this Venom movie. A
Okay.
little tease for something much, much bigger.
Okay, see, now you're speaking my language. Bigger how? What are we thinking?
Well, we got to talk about the symbiote in the room, right? Sony and Marvel Studios.
Oh, right. Didn't Venom 2 already kind of connect to the MCU?
With that post-credit scene.
Yes.
Yes, that little bit of symbiote goo that was left behind in the MCU after No Way Home, that's basically a breadcrumb trail leading straight to Knull.
Oh, wow. Okay, so are we saying there's a chance that Knull follows that trail and ends up in the MCU?
It's definitely a possibility,
Right.
especially with Avengers, Secret Wars coming up. A movie that's all about, like, the multiverse colliding.
Right.
What if Knull is that threat that kicks off that whole chain of events?
Are you saying Venom, The Last Dance, might not just be the end of Eddie Brock's story, but the beginning of something way bigger?
Yeah.
Like the start of Knull's reign of terror, but in a whole new multiverse?
Exactly.
This is huge.
And that's what makes understanding Knull so important, like, right now.
Man, my head is spinning. Okay, so Venom, The Last Dance, not just another superhero flick. It could be the key to a whole new chapter for the MCU.
Right.
That's huge.
It really is. And, the best part is, like, you're not just along for the ride, Like, understanding Knull, where he comes from, what he wants, it gives you this whole new perspective on what could be coming to the MCU. You know what I mean?
It's like getting that backstage pass. You know the guy behind the curtain. You know what he can do.
Yeah.
We're 2 steps ahead.
Exactly. And knowing how the comics played out with Eddie Brock and the God of Light, like that whole epic battle.
Right.
It makes you think, could we see something like that play out in the MCU?
Right.
Makes this Venom movie even more interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Knowing that it could be the start of something huge.
Yeah, no, you're preaching to the choir here. I'm already, like, rewatching the trailer with this whole new, like, sense of dread,
Yeah.
knowing what we know now.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before we wrap this deep dive up?
Okay, here's a thought.
Ah,
What if the Knull we see in Venom, The Last Dance, isn't exactly like the Knull from the comics?
okay.
What if Sony and Marvel use this as an opportunity to create their own, even more terrifying version?
You're not helping with the dread.
Sorry.
You're totally right, though. It's like, okay, they've given us the base model. Now they can take it anywhere.
Exactly.
And I am so ready. October 25th can't get here soon enough.
I'm right there with you. This deep dive, I'm so ready.
Dude, I love these deep dives. Like, you come in thinking you know a thing or two,
Yeah,
and then you leave, and your mind is blown.
totally.
Thanks for, like, guiding us through this one. I feel like I could take on Knull myself now.
You got this.
Or at least I'm ready to watch Venom do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime. Enjoy the movie, and remember, sometimes it's the things lurking in the shadows you got to watch out for the most.
Oh, man. Too true. Thanks for joining us, everyone, for this deep dive into the darkness. We'll catch you next time.